But that was the end of Chapter 1 in Chapter 1. I don't know. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Today was the day Rina and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. She has a beret on with that outfit. Mion's outfit looks fairly normal. What is the big freaking ass bow? She's wearing an outfit with a huge freaking ass bow on it. Why? And a beret. I'm just... Not to mention the freaking turtleneck thing her dress has going on. Reina and Mion were already waiting at the meeting place. Kei-chan, you're late! Sorry. The show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. Oh, so that's your excuse for being late and keeping two girls waiting. I mean, if you look, it's not actually wrapped around, it's not a belt. It's firmly attached behind her. It has to be. Mi-chan, you just got here yourself. Last night's episode of Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Reina was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What, no picnic basket? What is that? Leon answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, Reina really did make a picnic, so the handbag is the picnic basket. Hello, Tekismo. I have no idea how to actually pronounce your name. I am sorry. Kei-chan, after you left, Reina pulled out all the stops. Not like I forced her to do it. It was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay? She's been like this since last night, you know. Can you take responsibility for this? Alright. I am a man, after all. K-Tech. Okay. Fair enough, K-Tech. I'll take responsibility. Huh? But responsibility? For what? For what? As we both turned around slowly to look at Reina, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except this was Reina we were talking about here. About 2 kilos, I guess? When Reina was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I say 5. You're exaggerating. Keiichi-kun is a boy, after all. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Let's get going. Heave-ho! Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunchboxes. Correction, I say 5 kilos, too. 5 kilos is about 11 pounds. 11 pounds is not that heavy. It really isn't. If she's actually struggling with it, I could say, somewhere in the neighborhood of, 15 to 20 kilos might be an uncomfortable weight to carry. I'll help out, but all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if you make Reina sad, got it? The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies, after all. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. And no murder-suicides to speak of that we know of. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day. Oh, you would be Meibara-kun, I believe. My two companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All these passers-by even knew my name. Huh. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. It's a bit sad to say. Everyone knows everyone since there are so few people here in Hinamizawa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume that it's that Meibara fellow who just moved here? Yeah, that's how it works out. It was a process of elimination you could only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in the bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare. It is just the beginning. Of course I know them. The first person we met was old man Takazo from the Makino bike shop. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute. Next, we met the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. His hobby is sharpshooting, and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. Sniper, you say? That's a hell of a life goal. I mean, especially in a place like Japan where guns aren't exactly, ordinary. Ace sniper, you say? And the person we just met was Mio-san, the nurse from the clinic. Her hobbies are birdwatching and photography. Is this success? We haven't seen a Koro-sensei character yet. Although I have not seen the end of Assassination Classroom, so I don't know if Koro-sensei lives through it, but I would imagine he does. So I don't know how that ends, but we haven't seen a Koro-sensei yet. You know the names of everyone we pass by. And even their profiles? Seeing my surprise, Neon and Reina exchanged looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah. We're not like the city, where people hardly know their neighbors. Let's try it out. You there, who am I? You're Keiichi Meibara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person. It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately, you switched over to wearing boxers. How do you know this? Didn't you? That's enough, that's enough. But boxers? Enough of that! Apparently, there's absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Not even your underwear. Hinamizawa was not a place to be trifled with. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around. That's right. We're parading around like this after all. Don't you all think so too? That Kei-chan is fitting right in here in Hinamizawa? One of us. The population in Hinamizawa is shrinking, so the villager welcome anyone who's new here. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of "You're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who just moved to the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke after all. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out to begin the same way. Oh my, good day! It's wonderful seeing you get along! This lady here is Fujishima-san. Good day! Oh my, Meibara-kun, how wonderful for you, having a lovely girl on each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an enthusiastic nod, or emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was. Good! As I looked back over to Rina and Mion, they gave me a wink. So, now then, about time to have lunch, maybe? Maybe? Also, yeah, in case you haven't picked up on it, Reina here has a tendency to repeat words a lot. I don't know why. Reina's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man. I'll do what I can. But it's just too much. It's fine, Kei-chan. Leave it to this old man. Mion has never seemed reliable as she does right now. I'd expect no less from the class representative. Reina, if we're going to eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view. Ah, yes! Good idea. I agree. I imagine you have to make the sparkle sound effect to say the star. I can't do that. Reina nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling. This here is the Furude Shrine. It's probably the place with the best view around. This place, be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here. Isn't it a bit too early in the season for our festival? The Watanagashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be a celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer. Now then, spread out the lunch boxes, and there, various colored lunch boxes were placed one after the other on top of a plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Reina's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all this? Hey, Mion, it'll take more than just a good view to get all this down, you know. Oh good, they're here. Good afternoon. It was Rika-chan and Satoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see. This was her secret plan, to power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty. We just had to come since there was such a commotion. What's the meaning of this? Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style. A handmade gourd meal by Reina. I can see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property? The temple is public grounds. It's not yours. Keiichi is right. This is everyone's property. Wow, Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Satoko. Hold on 1 second. Where's my spot? No spot for you and nothing for you to eat. Move along. Don't worry, there's some for you too. None. I'll eat all of hers. I will not allow that, Rika! Here, chopsticks. Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. Why do we routinely get into fights with a little girl? Why? Dude keeps saying, I am a man, and then keeps doing stuff like this. There are apparently other boys in that classroom, but apparently we are the weird anime of one boy that has like all female friends. We are that protagonist. Man, really, Kei-chan, you're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this. Have a plate. One for Mi-chan and Rika-chan, too. Rina whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates. If we don't hurry, it'll all be eaten up. That's right. Okay. Shall we commence this battle? Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone, Rina said as she opened up a thermos. Yeah, I imagine the star is a sparkle sound effect. Just then, I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. I will not allow you to have this hamburger! I punch you! Hurt! Using your elbow is against the rules, Satoko! Grabbing the back of my collar is also against the rules! It was a tough battle, blocking her with her full momentum and an elbow in the opening move. Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand. Ah, the last meatball! Satoko Hoju has been bested! Yum! Satoko and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Amiably began choking. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Reina blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Reina to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this. A few more weeks of summer. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I do wonder why there are so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era? It seems that, long ago, people ate in silence. It must have made the people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think? It's probably because back then the people were busy even while eating and didn't have time to compliment the flavor. Or have flavor. That's just you. But you know, just hearing that it's good makes me happy. That my effort was worth it, I mean. She blushed a little as she said that. It was delicious. With absolutely perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Reina directly with praise. It was super effective. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence. After Reina uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof. How? Rika-chan, I'm gonna take you home. No, I mean, thank you. It was really delicious. Reina flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against her so hard you could almost hear it. God, she's nuzzling Rika-chan like a cat again. Okay, this wasn't again with Rika-chan, but she's nuzzling someone like a cat again. Somebody stop her. To reward Rika-chan for her praise, ta-da! These are special. 2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them towards Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is it, Satoko? What's with that defiant look? Has everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Reina-san? What's with that face? Don't push yourself. What kind of praise can you think up with your weak vocab? Oh, well then, allow me to show you. After Satoko flashed Mion and me a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly. Hey! So, Reina Oni-chan's lunch? Satoko thought it was yummy, too. Satoko looked up at her poutily while talking cutesy. I don't know what's... Yes, top-tier voice acting. It would help if I actually knew who was speaking at any given time, but, you know. Oh, yes. What? How was that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears, that's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This is a Reina Limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Her head spun. Don't fall for it, Reina. How? Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Reina glomped Satoko and began rubbing her cheek against her. Cute! Satoko is so cute! Take you home? How? Swish. Stab. Push! Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and me again with that defiant gaze. It only took 5 seconds to take down Reina. But that's unfair, to think she had such a trick. If it upsets you so much, why not reward Reina-san with some praise? Damn it! That was a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even praise. Satoko, you think you've won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks? But that sounds great, Mion. What kind of trick is it? Kei-chan is going to be the one who does it. What? Oh, why don't I have you show me then? The writhing of an old maid. The plan of attack she suggested was wicked. But it was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. It takes 2 of us to outwit a small child. After sipping my tea, I started talking, very naturally and calmly. Perfectly. It really is good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right? No. Actually, most of it, almost all of it was frozen stuff. Then which ones did you make fresh? Well, it's embarrassing. But I really have to say, must I? From the synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. This one, right? Reina turned an even deeper shade of red, the words, "I can't believe it," practically written on her face. How can you tell? How? That I made it? Of course, Mion had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher. It had your smell. Silence enveloped the area. Reina, face still completely red, froze solid. Let's take a step back here. And let's promise never to mention her smell again in relation of how we know something belongs to her or she made it. Can we agree never to mention that again, game? Please? Just, can you give me that? With a small yelp, Satoko also blushed. Of course I did too. I sure would like to try one of Reina's handmade apple rabbits, or something. Even if this was all because I competed against Satoko, it felt like I'd crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then, at that moment, whoosh! It was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits. Please eat some, Keiichi-kun! There's plenty for you! Hurrah! Instantly, dozens of the apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over and strangling me. Game over. Thanks for playing. Okay, say Keiichi-kun? My head was forcibly laid upon her lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth. While she was squealing, one apple after another was forced into my mouth. More and more apples. Kei-chan, that was a beautiful sacrifice! Why? I don't know! I don't know what's going on here, but we died via apple rabbits. Apparently. They even called it a sacrifice. Yeah, how about them apples, Satoko? God damn. How's that, Satoko? This is our complete victory, isn't it? I can't believe it. Such trickery. It doesn't bother me at all. Satoko ground her teeth, mortified. Okay, hang on. Just hang on a second. Why is it? Does someone clue me in here? Why is it? There's apparently a competition going on by 2 high school students against a middle school student to see who can manipulate another high school student the most. This is a competition. They apparently keep doing this and using poor Reina as the freaking game piece. Am I the only one that just kind of wonders what's going on here? Why is this a thing? I mean, no, I cannot say I did this kind of thing in high school. I cannot say I hung out with middle school students when I was in high school very often. Yeah, probably. Can't say I went on picnics with, 2 other high school students and a couple of middle school students and tried to turn one of the other high school students into a game piece for some psychological torment. So anyway, I just had to get that out. I claim victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. At that time, Reina stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something. Rika-chan, you're not eating it? Did the salt water make it too strong, maybe? Maybe? Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled the toothpick out of the apple rabbit, placed into her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do. Poor Mr. Rabbit. I feel sorry for him. Oh God, you're about to get glomped. Run! I want to save him. Pwee? That was the sound of blood splurting from Reina's nose. Cute! Tonight I will take you home! She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Her body shaking, with my head still on her lap, with my mouth crammed with apples so much I couldn't breathe. And now she's shaking. Oh God, help. Then, coming back to her senses, she took all the apples around me, gathered them up with a whip, and fixed them back up on a plate. Now they're all just fine, Kay? Here, I'll give them to you, Rika-chan. Kay? Kay? Rika-chan raised up Satoko's hand like a referee after having that plate of rabbit shoved to her. She whispered, This is our victory. It works in this case. What? What? A comeback? Hi. Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain. Why didn't any of you warn me? Seriously. When I said I was going to play this game, not one person could have warned me about this. Not one of you. What the hell did I get myself into with this game? Moving on. It was a fun-filled, crazy day. But as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly. Well, I mean, that's kind of how it works. Later, Rina and Kei-chan. See you tomorrow. Thanks for today, Mion. I had a great time. See you tomorrow. Satoko and Rika-chan went home as well. We parted ways with Mion, and it ended up with just Reina and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home. I still had bits of apple all over my face, in my mouth, and all over clothes. Thanks for coming today, Keiichi-kun. Was it fun? Yeah, lots of fun. Even that part where I passed out from lack of air. Almost feels like a waste to go home now. Ah, then, well, would you mind taking a little detour, maybe? Maybe? I am kind of worried now. A detour? Is it far? It's a bit of a walk, but it won't take long. Since we've been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Reina, I quietly nodded. Oh goody, the kind of quiet contemplation music. This is ASMR land right here, isn't it? Hang on. Moving things around for a second. Obviously. I think if they wanted to kill him, they had a pretty good opportunity earlier. Anyway. Traversing a small path and up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like the remains of a dilapidated construction site came into view. A large heap of garbage spread out off towards the swamp. Probably illegal dumping. I recalled it being in the newspaper. Oof. It's been quite a while. I wonder what's here. When you say it's been a while, you mean the business you had here was with this garbage pile? It's not garbage. To me, it's a pile of treasure. Reina had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers. So that meant there was something cute here? Whoa, a new pile. I can't wait. She bounded up the unstable slope. I'd expect no less from a born and bred country girl. Hey, wait, I'm coming. Whoa. My city raised self was completely pitiful. It's alright. Just stay right there, Keiichi-kun. It won't take long. Reina kindly declined my accompaniment. Don't fall. Watch your step. I'm fine. This is nothing at all. Nothing at all. Literally bounding up the heap of trash, Reina disappeared over the other side. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively Reina around, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, the sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. Standing there was a typical-looking photographer. He spied at me through his camera. His body was tanned and fit, but something about him seemed unreliable, and he had a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case. Whoa, you surprised me. Although startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That was my line. I'm the one who's surprised here. My bad. I didn't mean to startle you. Are you from Hinamizawa? I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious outlook, he introduced himself without my prompting. I'm Tomitake, freelance photographer. I come to Hinamizawa from time to time. I didn't ask who you were. Quite rude to photograph someone without consent, one would think. My bad, my bad. I mainly photograph wild birds. They can't refuse, you see. Ha 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 ha. So what, you're saying I'm the same as the birds? No, well, you see, that image of a young man in the twilight was just picturesque. I apologize for trying to take your picture without asking. Adults are pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt for being startled just flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Reina would be back soon. But this older guy, Tomitake-san, he didn't mind my cautious responses, and continued rambling on by himself. Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finished now. Reina popped her head out from one of the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand. You have someone with you? What would she be doing over there? That's what I wanted to know. Dunno. Maybe she's checking on that dismembered corpse that was out here long ago. Okay, ASMR time is over. Dismembered corpse, what? Why did we bring that up? Tomitake-san looked shaken up by that for a moment. I responded like I would if I were talking with Reina and the others. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still hadn't found one of the arms. Ha 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 ha! Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you... You were waiting a while, I guess. I'd best leave you two lovebirds alone. Apologies for startling you, Keiichi-kun. And the heavily muscled Goku with camera there. Tomitake-san chortled suggestively, then disappeared into the twilight. Missing my chance to retort put me off a bit. Hey, I liked my last ASMR attempt. Thank you very much. Keiichi-kun, are you angry? Why, I wonder. It wasn't Reina's fault, so I decided to just brush it off for now. How was it? Find a treasure trove? Oh, yes. So listen. You see, there was a Colonel Sanders doll. You ready for Christmas? A Colonel Sanders doll. Oh, that thing. Those statues they always have out in front of that fried chicken place. That life-size dummy? Yes, Colonel Sanders. Sparkle, sparkle. How cute. I want to take it home. Sparkle, sparkle. I couldn't tell how she decides what's cute or not, but, well, she seems to want it. It's garbage, right? No one would care if you just take it home, right? It's become the base of another pile. I can't dig it out easily. There's no lampposts over there, so it'll get dark pretty soon. Reina seemed quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to bring it back. I'll help you out, to repay you for that delicious picnic you prepared today. How? Thank you! Birds heading home to roost proclaimed that nightfall would soon be upon us. Keiichi-kun is going to help! I can take Colonel Sanders home! How? Really, I don't know how else to read the H-A-O as how is the only thing I can think to. I don't know what noise she's supposed to be making there. But no, we need to talk about Colonel Sanders. A lot. Apparently. Reina staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheery state. Hey, Reina. Long ago, did something happen here? Seems like they were building a dam here. I don't know the details, though. How? Just wondering if you knew about, an accident or something? I don't know. Her tone was disturbingly frank. It sounded more like a denial than an answer. I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Reina quickly lightened her expression. Actually, I didn't live here till a year ago. Huh? You transferred here too? I was sure that... So you see, I really don't know much from before that. Sorry, Sparkle Sparkle. Don't really know, don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave me. Thinking about it, of course, it would be like that. This wasn't the type of thing girls would enjoy talking about. It was quite a disturbing incident. It seems they haven't been able to find one of the arms. If it's just like Tomotaki-san said, then I had a feeling only the Higurashi would know. Okay then. We've received new tips. The Mayabara Mansion and the dam site murder. Okay, let's see something here. We've gone from talking about the school to talking about murder and dismemberment. It looks like we got the corpse. Kind of. So, Kei-chan, you're not stinking rich? What is this all of a sudden? Did I come to school in the limo before? How much do you get for a monthly allowance? About $10. My, that's a rather plebeian amount. His lunch is made up of normal stuff. He isn't rich. If the corpse was cute, I would imagine she would bring it home, yes. Or try to. What are they talking about? To be asked out of nowhere how much I get and then told that's a plebeian amount. Why, I oughta. Sorry. Rena seemed to pick up on my dubious expression and started giggling. Kei-chan, your house, it's pretty big, yeah? So the architecture has people all around Hinazawa calling it the Mayabara Manor, and it sort of stands out. Mayabara Manor? Since the house is so big, everybody's gossiping, wondering exactly how rich you are. I see. Now I get it. Well, the frame of it is huge. I see how it could cause some misunderstandings. From my deduction, I wager they spent too much money on building the house, and that's why they're now broke. Being broke, how very, very unfortunate. Rika-chan took pity on me as she patted my head. I go from being treated like a millionaire to a beggar. Yeah, sorry for ruining your imagination, but we aren't millionaires or poor. We're the image of a normal average household. You can't call it normal with that huge house. The entranceway is all grand and the gate is large enough for a large truck to get through. That's not normal at all. Yeah, they do say the bigger your house, the more prosperous you are. The reason that house is so big is because Dad's studio is in it too. There are a bunch of different workshops and lots of his works are hung up in different places. All of them are huge too. For those reasons, the family only uses a third of the house for day-to-day living. He planned it out so people in cars could come in to see the gallery he hopes to open up in the house someday. By the way, the entranceway Mion is talking about is the one for the studio and is normally sealed off. The entranceway of the Mayabara family actually uses is a very plain and simple one. The interior is much different than how it looks on the outside. I'd really like a chance to explore Kei-chan's house. Claiming not to be rich but having a home like that. What could be hidden there? Bodies. But maybe there's something cute hidden. How? They probably had no money to purchase furniture, so it's filled with Spartan rooms. If there are carpeted rooms, I'd love to try rolling around on the floor. Don't do that. Carpets are filthy. Even if you vacuum them daily, they still get filthy. People walk around outside and then walk on them. Don't do this. What? That'd be great! So great! I want to roll around too! No, seriously, don't do this. Seems like their imaginations were just piling on. Well, sometime in the near future, it wouldn't be too bad to invite them all to my house. Dad's a sucker for the ladies, so he might even let them look around his studio. I mean, fair enough, but that really isn't something you should talk about your dad while your mom's still alive. I'm just saying. The cry of the Higurashi crescendoed as the sky towered over everything. It was hot, but the air was clear. It smelled like the beginning of summer. Well, speaking of potential murder site, from the June Double XD 1979 edition, the Shishibane City Okinomiya Police Station, June XD, late at night. Suspects, very improper, were arrested on suspicion of murder and improper disposal of a corpse. The main offender, Quadruple X, has been added to the wanted list nationwide. According to our sources, the 6 suspects were at the Hinamizawa Dam construction workroom on the XDX at 9 p.m., where they are suspected to have assaulted and murdered the site overseer, other Quadruple X, as a group, dismembering his body and hiding it. On the XDX at 8 o'clock in the morning, a report was filed by the Shishibane City Hospital in which a male suspect alluded to having murdered Mr. Quadruple X. When questioned at the police station, the individual confessed to the crime. Since a portion of the body was recovered at the location he gave, he was arrested that afternoon on suspicion of murder and mutilation of a corpse. The rest of the suspects were arrested at the same day, but the main culprit is still at large. Police are currently on his trail. I don't know how you'd properly dispose of a corpse after a murder, but I would imagine chopping it up is not that. The motive is purported to be a drunken verbal dispute during which he killed the victim in a fit of anger. However, as there are multiple inconsistencies with their testimonies, the investigation is ongoing. And we will save at the end of Chapter 2.